Welcome back to another episode of F.E.A.R February. And today we're going to talk about F.E.A.R Extraction Point. An expansion pack continues after the events of the first game. Unlike its predecessor, this was not developed by Monolith, but a different team called Timegate, best known for creating a bunch of unknowns and... so that's why no one talks about them. I mean, it's really standard practice to have a different studio make an expansion pack, just like what Valve did with Half-Life, and Turtle Rock Studios with Sin. Just outsource them to a different company. Announced during E3, Extraction Point promises that it will fix some of the criticisms it faced when the original F.E.A.R came out. But at the same time, the original OG F.E.A.R team is already working on a sequel. It's already a good game, but seeing that there's still flaws, it's nice to see them trying to add some improvement to a game that's already good. Can Timegate create something as worthy as the last game, or this game end up being a lazy, bare-bones cash grab? Well, that's what we're about to find on this expansion pack review, so let's go! So game, or expansion pack, starts right after the first game's ending. You got extracted in your extraction point, your teammates, and that's where the story of F.E.A.R Extraction Point ends. Congratulations! Your point ban has been extracted! It's time to get your man a wrong! Ha 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 ha! Of course that ain't happening, cause that would be buying an ending to a cutscene at that point. So how does Extraction Point start? Well, for starters, you and your teammates were lucky to survive. The replica soldiers are in dormant state, and for the first time ever, and unlike in base F.E.A.R, Extraction Point mostly takes place in urban city areas. Some of them are more colorful than the last game, so already that's one big improvement. But perhaps what's even better is the horror aspects of the game. I mean, it's still no survival horror, but it does help me remind that we're getting good action horror. Examples? So, what are the new mechanics introduced here? Well, like in F.E.A.R, this game has item boxes. Yeah, good luck remembering what they look like. Even I forgot these things existed until I looked close at the details. Like, look at this box. Dangerous, explosive. It's some kind of explosive crate that's going to kill me? Or is it just a medkit? See what I mean when I forgot these things existed? Now there's 3 new weapons here. You got yourself a minigun, which is rare when it comes to finding one, but its huge ammo count makes it worth using in huge enemy numbers and strong enemies. A laser gun, which is not a sniper rifle for once. And the deployable turrets, which allows you to give some extra backup in combat. Anyway, right after the crash, you and your teammates got separate paths, so what you gotta do is to reunite with them. So you enter this church, over that Paxton is still alive, because he's a ghost! Now if there's one thing I like about the levels in Extraction Point, it's got to be the fights in tight spaces. Not only is it claustrophobic, but the extra rooms give both players and the famed F.E.A.R AI some real-time thinking strategies. Seriously, just by comparing how many times I died in the last game, I think I completely lost count of it. There's the arena section where you have to wait for your friend to come, and you're going to die a lot here, because your friend is just slow. Like, hurry up, man! And the infamous subway section where you die, and die non-stop. What am I doing wrong that these guys are doing right? So you manage to reunite with one of the members, but the lady that looks like Karma from the Hot Wheels movies has been sadly kidnapped. I didn't even know she's meant to be Korean until I saw her name. Now unlike normal F.E.A.R, we actually get to team up with a squad member. His AI is pretty basic, doesn't do some insane shit like the replicas, but does still feel refreshing to work together with somebody for once. Until he dies and you never see him again. This is where the game introduces you to a new supernatural enemy type. They're just the invisible replica ninjas, but ghosts. Other than that, you got heavies with riot shields on, but I didn't have that much trouble other than they'd look cool. And this new mech enemy. This thing has no arms, 2 legs, and can still lift an object to throw it at you. I have no arm and I must lift. Any boss fights? Can you finally fight Paxton? Can you kill Alma? Yeah, no. Still no Alma boss fight. I mean, she's still as scary as ever, but since that she's your, how do I say this?
Teenage mother!
You don't really get to fight her, and she doesn't really fight you. But there is one part in the game where she saves her life.
You're safe now.
Gee, thanks, Mom. But why the fuck did you spare that fat guy? How was he even alive? This dude better not be my dad. Oh, my head hurts thinking about it. Now, something you will notice in this game is the lack of Alienware laptop product placements containing info. Maybe I missed them. Sora reached the hospital to save the only teammate you have left, get to the top, only to learn that she's already dead. So much for a rescue. What was expected to happen anyway since you're way too far from her to begin with. But if no one left to rescue, you become the last surviving member, and the least you could do now is just leave everything behind. But not before we get this weird crazy horror moment where it makes me want to say, what the hell is going on here? Mental silent patients, weird spirits, jump scares, and your mom suddenly going to stand of all places?
The border world, then, is in our control.
Where the fuck am I?
All this crap just to turn on the power? But you know what? It's over. It's finally over. Peaceful music plays, power's back on, and hey, looks like our pilot's coming. Alright, just one more battle after these replicas. It's home free for me, baby!
Level 1! On the home stretch, baby!
Come on! Let's go! Come on! And that was the ending of F.E.A.R. Extraction Point. No escape, no survivors, just you in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. And the scariest part, it's not even canon anymore. Like it ever was since it's made by a different team. If there's one thing I like about this ending is that it reminds me of the first Evil Dead movie's ending. You thought Ash actually won? Guess again, pal. The evil still lives! Now, recalling my last F.E.A.R. review, I mentioned how I overhyped myself to think that this game might be scary. But Extraction Point? This game can take all the cake. I'm not saying that Extraction Point is better than F.E.A.R. I mean, when you look into it, the game is really just a continuation of previous events. So instead of seeing them as interval 1 till 6, I'll call them as interval 11 to 16. But even do consider that, the game really isn't canon anymore. Although the series definitely went downhill, so if you want to, you can try consider this game as the best way the story ends, or just a non-canon epilogue. Either way, Extraction Point is definitely an expansion pack worth playing. With that being said, I'll give F.E.A.R. Extraction Point 4.5 Cinder Points. But it's not over yet, because once again, Timegate would later release another expansion pack, one that focuses on another team of F.E.A.R. members. So tune in next time for our next episode of F.E.A.R. February. Like for the algorithm, subscribe for notifications. This is Cinderit logging off until next time.